If you have to be told that there is another person in this relationship, you have no business being in a marriage. It is going to fail. Mark my words. What is up, my Married at First Sight brethren who follow this show, this train wreck that it is, week in and week out, and we are only on week 2, and we are starting to see some of the cracks. More of that to come. But can Emem actually relinquish some of the control and be led as she claims she wants to be? Will the happiness that Madison and Allen seem to show at first glance actually last? Or do they really have Brennan and Emily vibes? Can Michelle get past the fact that David actually still lives in the basement with his parents? Or will she just crash and burn and not be okay with that? And can Camille and Thomas really have the happily ever after that they seem to actually want? We will see. But we're going to get started with Juan and Carla, who, let's be real, is there chemistry between them, or are they just trying to actually fabricate enthusiasm? But first, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I appreciate all the support. We are so close to 1,000. Make sure you subscribe. It is so much appreciated. The madness rolls on. And let me tell you something, Juan and Carla, they're going to be the ones of this season. I'm telling you right now.
Just being an immigrant.
Oh, God.
Coming to this country.
Look at him, look at him.
Everything is an unknown.
He's not even looking directly at he's looking to the side. He's looking at the lights they have. You can see the light glimmer in his eye. He's looking at that, trying to get watery-eyed. Not a good look to start fake crying.
So, this way, it almost doesn't feel weird to do this.
Oh my gosh, man. He's saying that everything is so out of whack because he came to the country when he was 7 years old. I'm sure it was crazy, but he's trying to make it seem like this is actually kind of normal to me, man, and then trying to fabricate tears. This is going to be the one, this guy right here. And they matched him with, quite frankly, one of the most probably polar opposite female matches when you're talking about actually trying to make something work, because they are both all about themselves. You see it every time you see them. They are both, it's the me show. How are they going to come together as a unit and actually try to make this a companionship, a partnership, everything that is supposed to be a marriage, a compromise? How is that actually going to happen?
I told the family, I'm like, hey guys, the next time you see me, you're going to see me with a husband. I don't know where he is or who he is, but
yeah, the next time that her family sees her, she's going to be with the husband. And she got on Married at First Sight. So here we are. And she says, see, I manifested that. This lady is all about, I manifested it to happen. And yet she seems in no way, shape, or form actually ready for marriage. Every time you see her, it's the me show. It's the Carla show. It's the, let's see what we can do for me. Wait until you hear, wait until you hear what she has to say at the actual wedding, or that her friends and family says about her. That's where it gets interesting. And we're not even to the receptions yet. We're certainly not to the honeymoon yet. And we are not to the part of their lives where they're actually back working and where all the stress really takes its toll. So, should be some fun in the future.
I love that he put himself out there and he's being vulnerable. I feel like I love him already.
Oh my gosh. Big red. No, you do not. Big red flag. You do not. You haven't met the guy and you feel like you love him. You are really trying to sell that you are this healer, this manifester. And oh, by the way, one of her businesses is sound baths and crystals. So, if that makes you feel good, fine. But it's just coincidental that everything she is trying to talk about is, manifesting itself when she kind of works in that field and she has businesses in that field. It's going to go down as she's actually trying to sell herself. I'm calling that now. I don't know if it ever actually is admitted to, but they're not going to work out, and she's actually just trying to sell her businesses and get them out there. That's probably what's going on.
I know that I have to give a little bit.
Oh,
so
do you know that?
So
I gotta compromise.
I gotta compromise. I gotta meet her in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
is that what you're just figuring
don't stop
out?
being yourself, but I understand that.
Yeah, there's another person in the dynamic.
Type.
Absolutely.
If you have to be told that there is another person in this relationship, you have no business being in a marriage. It is going to fail. Mark my words. Because if he cannot realize yet that, I have to not be self-centered. I have to not put myself ahead of everything else. I'm going to have a family now. I'm going to have a wife to protect. A man protects and supports. How is he going to do any of that if he can't put anyone but himself first? And yet you have to be told by your brother that make sure you remember that there's that compromise that you have to put her somewhere in there. And the other problem is that, like I said, she is kind of like him. She's like the female version of him. Not really compatible with a relationship because they cannot put the other people above themselves. Now, him as a man, he should definitely be the one that wants to support, be the one that wants to protect, and be the one that wants to care for and make sure everything is good. But right now, he's too focused on himself. And it's clear by what his brother said. And then they actually meet for the first time.
Name's Juan.
I'm Carla.
Yeah.
Good to meet you, Carla.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Yeah.
meet you too.
What's next?
Thanks for being here.
Are you ready?
Are you
I
ready?
am. I'm ready. Are you ready?
Are you in love?
True colors, right there. He's like, what?
I hope that we can fall in love.
Oh, the most non-answer. You gotta love it. Are you in love? And she was dead serious. I don't care that she was smiling. She was waiting for him to say, yes, because we manifested it together. We just didn't know. No, he is like, just met ya. I understand we're getting married, but give me a little bit of time. Didn't know what to say. That did not sit well with her. I don't care what her reaction said. It didn't sit well with her deep within. So we're going to see that. She's the one that already said before she ever met him, I love him. I love him. What are you going to do? This is going to be the most epic train wreck. Now, the interesting thing is right now you'd see all this and you would think this is going to be the couple that really steps out. And I think it probably is. But this is where the twists are going to get fun because it might be a couple we don't really think of. But we will have to find out.
The rhythm of her own drum and lives every day as if it's her last.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Carla doesn't like being told no.
Whoop, skirt. Stop the track. What are we doing here? DJ, turn off the music. Carla doesn't like to be told no. What else do they have to say about this?
She will find a way to get it done or find a way to convince you to change your mind.
She's swaying back and forth like a kid while saying, I'm going to get my way, or I'm going to put my fingers in my ear and say, la, 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 I can't hear you. That's what this is. Welcome to the Immaturity 2.0, which is a step down from last season. This should be interesting, as everything is. Why does it have to be interesting? Why? This is supposed to be a simple show about, we're going to try to match people that we think as experts, which are not experts, by the way, but I'm sure we'll get to the criticisms of them a little bit later on in the season. But this is supposed to be, we get married, we try it out. Maybe some of them don't work because, it's married at first sight, but we're matching by compatibility and they can live happily ever after. In reality, either the experts are not experts and they suck, which I think is part of it, or they're trying to do this for ratings, which I think is also part of it. Now, I'm here for the entertainment, always. But I'm just saying, not really marketing or putting out there what they're marketing. So, yeah. And yet, it continues.
It just feels right.
Does it feel right?
Up about this, man.
No, look at that, look. He's like, what's happening right now? He doesn't know what the hell to do. These two, oh my gosh. Look, if they make it past the honeymoon, it's going to be a miracle. If they can get past the first night, it's going to be a miracle. And, the fact is in reality, let's be realistic. I give them a few days before they start fighting or she's too much for him or something. But I don't see them having any kind of happily ever after the first week. Maybe they ride out that honeymoon phase. Maybe they do, which, that could be a good period of time. I don't know. I don't think that they're going to get past fighting on the honeymoon. So this should be fun to see. But I'm telling you, they are the couple to watch. They're the ones that is most mismatched, the ones that are the most ripe for arguments, the one that is the most ripe for realizing we shouldn't have done this, the one that is the most ripe for somebody just trying to use a marketing thing for the show. This should be fun. Unfortunately, it's at the expense of other people because it ain't going to work out. But I have a feeling that the feelings aren't really there anyway, so it's probably not going to really matter to them, although for TV, they'll probably play it up. Now, Michelle and David are the ones that I think probably have the best chance. They're the ones that seem like they're the most down-to-earth, and the ones that seem like they might actually have the best shot at working. Although, I had some slight issues with her and some impulse control stuff, but other than that, I think probably at face value, they're the most likely to succeed, if any, which I don't hold much confidence because the experts are not experting, of course. But the first thing I point out, which is interesting, is they're supposed to be in the part where it's before the wedding. And I'm going to point out that if you notice, he has a ring on his finger, on his ring finger. Now, could that be just a separate ring? Sure. It doesn't have to be a wedding ring. But it would not shock me if they shot some of these scenes after they already did the wedding and they forgot to take his wedding ring off. We will see once they actually get married if the ring matches, and then we'll really know. So, maybe it's a conspiracy theory, but I'm just saying. He's got a ring on and he's not married yet. And we'll see later on in the scene where he doesn't once he puts his suit on and everything. So, could have been he took it off because now he's going to put a different ring on that finger, but that is to be determined if it is. I'm just pointing it out. Just saying.
I want to know your name. I want to know where do you
It's a
come
good
from?
name.
How did
It's
you
a good
grow
name.
up? Did you do any sports? Have you ever been around this many women? Because we're a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
And we're judgy. Yeah.
And the red flags begin. But you know what? It's not with her yet. The minor ones, sure. But are her family going to run him away? Because if she said, but we're judgy, I'm like, that's not a good thing to admit that you're a judgmental person, that you're not going in with open eyes and being at least trying to be accepting. Not a good thing for the sister to admit. And sure, he might get a little crazy with all the sisters going on. But, at the same time, he had some positive. He keeps talking about how he's a big mama's boy. So, he's around women. He gets it. So I think he'll be okay in that aspect. But don't let your sister run him away. I mean, come on. Give him a shot.
But maybe you communicate that you don't know how to react
yes,
to this.
Absolutely.
Just shutting down like you do
yes.
sometimes.
And you know what? That is good advice because we as men, we want to fix things. That's kind of like instinctively. So when we're talking to our wife, and I'm guilty of this too, you want to fix things. So when there's an issue, when you're seeing your wife upset, you're like, what can I do? How can we fix this? Why are you upset? I'm here to help. But it's not, because we're men and we don't have that as emotional kind of soft side all the time. So sometimes the best way to approach that is to kind of take a step back and see what is needed of you in that moment. Yes, that is good advice from him and kind of have a better understanding, and that can help with communication. Because when you're someone that's trying to fix something and your wife is someone that's like just is just upset and doesn't really need something fixed but just is upset, it's going to lead to arguments and not a great, probably some sort of fight. Not a physical fight, but just like you may shut down, she may shut down. Communication is key, and that is huge in marriage. His brother probably has a pretty successful marriage because he's got some tools that he's figured out over this. Because that's trial and error. You usually learn as a man is either you're going to dig in your heels and you're going to be like, no, I'm going to fix this. You want to get mad at me? I'm trying to fix it. Or you try to have some sort of understanding. It's not always easy. But that's growth. So I think his husband I think, his brother is giving good advice for the future.
Yours and Paige's marriage, mom and dad,
Mm-hmm.
They're all
great role models
and amazing. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, failure is not an option for me.
Problem there, though. Heard that last season, and we saw how that ended. So I don't know if you want to be saying failure is not an option because that's like the kiss of death with this show. So that doesn't give me high hopes, but the role models he had, the people around him are making me think that at least he's got some positive support. Whether it lasts, it all depends on what happens when they're in a room together and they're around each other for 24/7. Then things might get a little crazy. And now, if I was conspiratorial, you see that he does not have a ring on his finger. So, like I said, I'm going to be Hawkeyeing when they actually get married in the next episode to see what the ring looks like that she puts on his finger because... yeah, it's interesting. Now, maybe he was just wearing a ring. I mean, he could have been wearing a ring for whatever reason, but interesting thing to look at, that's for sure.
And such good, beautiful people you all are.
Mm-hmm.
God, I love you. Oh, I love you too, Dad.
That's
Thank you for
nice.
coming.
This is what I'm talking about. Again, we as men are not the most emotional always, and that's not me saying you can't be emotional, but there's a reason why sometimes we're not the most emotional, but there are times where it's like, it's just expected, and it's just kind of like, yeah, I get it. Your daughter's getting married, you're probably going to be emotional. Birth of a child, you're probably going to be emotional. Something, bad happens to your spouse, your kids, you're probably going to shed a tear. And this is one of those times, seeing a dad just that proud of his daughter, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's nice to see. And we've seen this already, but I like to see it. It's great. Now, Camille and Thomas didn't really show their after-wedding kind of conversation. So we got a brief look at that. And one thing stands out to me that at least gives me hope that she is ready for this.
I wanted that kind of fairy tale ending, if you will. And today I got that. I'm a wife. It happened. You see the ring on the finger.
Yeah.
So it's go time now, and I'm looking forward to really seeing what this journey is going to be like.
Nice. So she was looking forward to the wedding itself, being married. She's happy with what happened. She's a wife now. She's very positive. There's no real negative coming from her after she got married. So that is why it kind of gives me hope for them. They're kind of teasing some negative things to start happening, and they're with one of the couples. We will see. I definitely saw an aspect of one of the previous couples who was on one of the shows last or a couple weeks ago when they were doing like the pre-thing, when they were introducing the couples and all that, who said that if, or the girl, I can't remember her name, I'm sure someone's going to tell me, the girl that was with Eris, she said that if it's anyone's fault and they don't end up together, it's his fault. Now, she said that like she knows something. So that's why it says to me, there's maybe not, even though they were one of the ones I thought might stay together, they're probably not. And it's something he did maybe. But we'll see about that. Either way, it's the right attitude going in, which is what I like to see. Now, Emem and Ikechi didn't really have a whole lot of material. They got married. They're doing okay. I have concerns for them because she really seems like she keeps saying she's all about her career. She's done all these things. She's been independent, but yet she wants someone to lead her and kind of so they have this family together. So I don't know if she can relinquish that and you be the girl boss while also coming together as a couple. We'll see, but either way, one thing that was interesting to me is she seems to have a little bit of cognitive dissonance about what actually happened here with Married at First Sight.
Finding your husband.
Y'all know I'm really strategic
What?
and I'm a planner.
What?
So technically, this is
Say
pretty
what?
on brand. They planned and found someone who meets, the things that I say that I
She
want.
is
right?
doing backflips to try to justify this. It's on brand because she likes to plan to get married at first sight and then proceeds to say, well, they planned this. They matched me with this person. Have you met the experts? They're god awful. They don't know what the hell they're doing because they got letters behind their name, PhD, pastor, doctor, whatever the hell they are. And yet they can't seem to get it right. Not one time. Okay, there's been a few that it's like throwing something at the wall and hoping it sticks. Every now and again something will stick, but for the most part, it's not working. Now, she's trying to say, yeah, it's all planned. It's right on brand with me. This isn't planned at all. This is the complete opposite of what you just said. I don't think your brain is like comprehending with your mouth. They're not connecting. It's not happening. Or, again, it's kind of a cognitive dissonance and you're trying to do backflips to justify what you're doing in case, maybe you don't like what you see. That's kind of what it seems to me. Still early, maybe they work out. I could be wrong on all of them, but I'm still kind of saying that none of them are going to make it in the end. Now, I have to admit, I thought that Madison was going to kind of snub her nose at Allen when she got up to the altar because, maybe that wasn't her type. I don't know, and she kind of seems a little uppity. But that's not exactly what happened, and that's a good thing. But, they still kind of have Brennan and Emily vibes. I just think he's more or less Brennan. I still think she's kind of Emily, though. So that'll be kind of determined later on in the season. See, look, she's happy. Look at that. He's happy. She's happy.
Yeah, I did want to give you a hug.
Absolutely.
Look at that.
You're friggin' beautiful.
Oh, he's happy. Look at him.
Won the lottery.
I did also bring up
Not
a little
really.
friend that you
She brought. He put a banana on the gift.
Well.
And she brought it back.
If
See,
anybody
they're playing back and forth. They're having this kind of, rapport building already. And it's a good sign. I was wrong about what they kind of would interact at the altar. So right now, that is showing positive signs. And they're not a bad looking couple. I mean, they look good as a couple, quite frankly. The question is, can they come together and become the couple? Right now, you're getting married, but you have to become the couple. You have to have the communication. You have to have the compromise. You have to have the trust. Can that happen? And can they integrate into each other's lives? That is a good looking couple. I mean, look at that right there. Yeah, look at that. They actually look happy. Like you don't see that much in this show. So now, whether that lasts or that's just in the moment of the wedding, I don't know, but it's probably the most genuine one I've seen thus far walking away. Not nervous, not like, what the hell did I just do? But like actually happy.
Wow.
Wow. I think he looks so good in a suit.
Nice. Okay.
His eyes are beautiful, honestly.
Okay, all right. She likes him.
The comedic relief that he gave
Yes.
while we were together
Key.
just it made any nerves I had go away.
100%.
Like, it was so fun. It was so...
Do not underestimate the power of humor, the power of being able to be personable with somebody, whether it's someone you're dating, whether it's your girlfriend, whether it's, you know, your wife. Humor is huge. When a person can be humorous, when a guy can be funny, and not just like, oh, I'm obnoxiously funny. Here, you want to hear a joke? But just like naturally kind of like joking and having a good time, showing that you care while you can be kind of lighthearted and not just strict and stern all the time. Don't underestimate that. That is huge. It's massive. Now, it's not really something you can teach. You can't say, hey, you need to joke a little bit more. You need to be a little bit more funny. Then it's just awkward because it's like, you know, how does that work? It doesn't. But he clearly already automatically had that rapport he kind of had with her even without meeting her. And maybe that's just because he's a personable person. And it didn't even look that way, but he's a personable person. Good for him. And that came off right away. That's why they hit it off. Had nothing to do with, oh, he looks so good. Now, he said she looks so good, so that's great. You know, he's attracted to her, and she's a pretty girl. But, you know, other than that, there's so much more than just, you know, the looks of it all. You have to have personalities that can mesh. You have to have personalities that you can kind of build on, communicate, have fun with, and be able to ride out the hard times with. Your looks only go so far, even if that's what you're most important to you. So, that's positive starts. Little things, but positive starts. We'll see how it all plays out. Once we get to the receptions, then all the friends start coming in, then all the family start coming in asking questions. That's when things really start falling apart. Then on the honeymoons, then with life and working and all that. So, you know, in the weeks to come, we will see some chaos. Until then, have a happily ever after, couples, for the little time you have it. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate all the support. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I will see y'all next time.